Stand up, South Africa. Make sure that South Africa, you are counted with me. Rise, South Africa. Stand and make sure that our people understand that the need to bring revolution in South Africa is guaranteed. That under the EFF, this country will be the better. EFF is a Kovatengi.
Tshela Africa Zonga, Africa and the world. My name is Titus Tungu. I bring you the special edition of the EFF podcast from the new Peter Mokaba Stadium in Polokwane. This is where the EFF is hosting its last rally, the Tshela Thupa Rally, which is the final phase of the road to victory. And with me, I'm joined by the SGs joining me for the second time. We're together in Durban, and now he's back just to give us the lay of the land in as far as preparations are concerned. SG, a very good morning and welcome to the EFF podcast.
Good morning to all the fighters, supporters and voters and all the people of South Africa.
Yeah. Is it all systems go for the Tshela Thupa Rally, as it were?
Yeah, we're here in Peter Mokaba Stadium Saturday, 25th of May. The President and the Commander-in-Chief is going to lead the whole EFF delegation. The leadership, CCT, will be here. The CTF that was running the elections is going to be here. The membership of the EFF, the voters, they are coming in numbers to pick up Peter Mokaba Stadium as well, reaching the final phases of our rally. So 7 a.m. on the 25th of May, all the gates are going to be open. Our people in the province, because it's only people from the Bobo province that are coming. We're not bringing anyone else outside the province, because we said to those fighters, on Monday elections are starting, so they must remain in their provinces to make sure that the machinery is ready as we are ending our campaign. So it's all systems going. Sound and stages, the people are here. The fighters are ready on the ground. The President is on his last run for the community meeting, and other officials, all of them, they are in different sub-regions of the Capricorn region. So we are all here and it's all systems go. We are ready to receive the message of the President, giving us the last message before the 29th of May for total takeover of the EFF.
And obviously that will be the message of hope that will usher in economic freedom in our lifetime. We can see, SG, that indeed preparations are underway, and that reaffirms the EFF's readiness to take over government. But let's just reflect on the journey thus far. We have started last year building up to the elections. What are some of the key highlights that you may reflect on, SG, when we look at the road to victory?
Look, we adopted the road to victory manual. What we can say is that when we converted structures, when we had the elections workshop where we adopted the road to victory manual, everything that was a roadmap of that victory manual we've achieved. Starting with the launch of the manifesto in Ethekwini, all provincial manifestos, they were successful. Provincial ground forces forums that were part of our plan. President addressed all of them. Then it was the provincial manifestos where President addressed all of them. All of them, they were successful. The leadership was all on the ground. They were involved, taking responsibility to ensure that all those programs are successful, including the fighters themselves, making sure that all those rallies are successful. Good rallies. We started doing door-to-door.
Oh yes, absolutely.
We ran that program, chasing our targets, and all provinces. They had their hands on deck, and all the provinces are on the ground. And we crisscrossed the whole country. The President was all over. There's no place that has never been to this country. He did not just finish with the elections, the provincial manifestos. He visited all provinces where he met individuals, he met prominent figures, he met communities, he met traditional leadership, he met church leadership, he met organized formations, he met grassroots formations, he met NGOs, he met almost all the people of South Africa, the young and old, rich and poor, black and white. He met all of them as a president, because he had himself to lead from the front, and he has never failed. For the last 11 years in the existence of the EFF, he's a man who leads from the front. And with this election, he did exactly that. He led all of us, and we went to take our position. So far so good. He's coming here tomorrow to give the overall journey of how we performed during our campaign, and to give the final message on what happens between tomorrow until elections next week on the 29th of May.
And SG, you are one of the leaders that lead from the front. You have led successful marches which were well attended by the masses in KZN. Can we just reflect on some of the marches that you have led which were largely attended by the people who are showing massive support towards the EFF, and that what does that really indicate?
No, look, we worked in the province of KwaZulu-Natal like all the leaders. It was not just myself. TG was doing the same in Mpumalanga. DP was doing the same in Eastern Cape, led a march against crime that is destroyed the city of Nelson Mandela. The national chair, the DSG was on the ground. Commander-in-Chief himself was on the ground doing different programs. So Commander-in-Chief having programs, community halls with different minorities. When people said EFF hates certain races, and that myth was proven wrong, because the president went to meet different constituencies, which all of them, they welcomed the EFF. They engaged robustly with our manifesto. So we did the campaign throughout the whole country. There was no province that was special than other provinces. That's why officials were there. So KZN, Eastern Cape, Northwest, Free State, Mpumalanga, Northern Cape, there's no province, there's no voter that is not respected by the EFF. That's why we send the best of the best on all provinces, our officials, our CCT members, our provincial leaders,
all the big guns.
All hands on the deck, because we respect each and every voter. So the programs that we're running in KZN were normal campaign programs. We had community meetings. Remember that even the people were busy starting to write stories. They were writing negative stories, especially about KZN. So the EFF in KZN, it has dropped, and this and this and this, and we proved that actually no one has left the EFF, because they said the EFF in KZN had 3 breakaway parties of the former leaders, and we said beyond gossip, we only believe on facts. And when the science and facts were called to be on display, we proved that there was no breakaway party or faction of the EFF that went to form a party in KZN. It was just individuals that the organization said, you don't have capacity to do this, so you must give other people, and then their egos got offended, because if they had capacity of doing that and they were breakaway parties, the only way you can prove it was to go and register in the IEC to be on the ballot, and none of those people are in the ballot today through those small parties. So they went to go and start non-existing things. So there was never a breakaway party from the EFF in KZN. All our structures as of 2019, all our members, they remain intact, and everywhere else, here in Gauteng were intact, in Mpumalanga were intact, here in Limpopo. We were told stories here in Limpopo that there are people who have taken our members on all that, but we knew they've got no capacity of doing that, because EFF members, they don't join individuals, they join the EFF. So when your ego is the one that is too much on your head, and you are being driven by arrogance, the EFF members will just they'll just look at you, and then they tell you that, remember, we joined the EFF, our 10 rand and the membership oath that we signed with the organization, not you or your family. So when you want to leave, you take your wife, you can go. We remain here. You will see on Saturday here. This Peter Mokaba Stadium is going to pack to capacity. I hope those that left and lied to people that they are bringing members of the EFF aid their money. I hope they did not finish it, because they will have to go and pay that money back to those people that the owners of those political parties that that they lied to, and saying we're bringing thousands of people in from the EFF, give us the money. Both in all the provinces that were left were intact, were solid, we ran the best campaign, as I'm saying, but President is here to take us through on all that.
And we can see that indeed the machinery is well oiled. And hearing from USG, the custodian of membership, all those people that are claimed to have left the EFF, you can prove to us that indeed these are some of the people who were expelled by the organization. Once there's an expulsion, he can never remain a member of the organization. So therefore, that nullifies this notion that people are leaving the EFF and joining the opposite. Now, there's a growing tension, or rather there was a tension in Jujuville where we saw some tension between ANC members who were somehow trying to attack the EFF. Your take on that?
Look, there was no tension. People of Jujuville were continuing with their daily lives. Young people were in a sports field, they're playing football. That's what happens in our black communities. And the ANC decided that they're going to go and disrupt a peaceful community, and that peaceful community has to stand on their own. But not even leadership of the EFF. It's the arrogance of the ANC. It's an organization that is dying. And when it's dying, it wants to disrupt society. Because they said they want to go and hand over gazebos to their members coming from another ward. How can you go to where you don't have membership and hand over gazebos? But we said everyone must be allowed to campaign. They are allowed to go and campaign in Jujuville. Everyone, there must be another place called the no-go area for any party in the ANC. But what is wrong is that they go there not to campaign, to go and disrupt. They went there to disrupt young men who were playing soccer there, enjoying themselves, continuing with their daily lives. Instead of going to Jujuville and to door and speak to our people, and our people will decide whether they listen to them or not. So that was unbecoming of the ANC, but we expected it because they know they are losing power. It's the end of the ANC, and they would want to do everything, including trying to disrupt society, creating confusion, creating a state of unstableness and all those things. We know them for who they are. They are losing power, and it's ending on the 29th of May, and there's no one who's going to help them, including their former leaders who retired. They can all come back from retirement. No one is going to help the ANC. They're going to lose power. So the sooner they accept and the bomb and behave, the better. Because this one of trying to terrorize our communities because they think they're entitled to their vote, it's wrong, it's unfair, and must never be tolerated by anyone.
Yeah, and that is so typical of a dying horse, SG. Now let's look at the general public. How is the general public receiving the message of the EFF? Are they resonating with the message of the EFF? Are they showing a sign that indeed it is time to usher in economic freedom?
Look, we're very happy with the response that we got from the ground. None of us, we used to sit our reporting meeting every week. Not even one meeting where we got a report that the EFF was chased away from one house, where our volunteers, when they were doing door-to-door, they were told that we don't want the EFF. From Cape to Musina, there's never been such a situation. So we're very happy with the reception that we got from our people, from the townships, from the villages, in the farms, everywhere else, in the suburb, in the rural areas. People welcome the EFF because they said you are the only one who's got a believable and a practical manifesto that talks to about creation of jobs, which is the biggest crisis now in South Africa. We've gone to the state of emergency when it comes to the issues of unemployment in this country. When we talk of the issues of land, the issues of this managed load shedding, our people, they said, we know the ANC's tricks. This load shedding is going to come back in June like it did during the World Cup.
Oh yes, just a suspension, by the way.
Yes, suspension. But we don't want that. We want permanent stopping of load shedding so that we can have permanent access to electricity. Because electricity is not luxury. It's a human right issue, same as access to water, access to land, and have a house over your head. So those are things that the EFF was talking to. The issues of crime, we dealt with it. A lot of our communities we met. They are not happy with the state of policing and security in this country. But the EFF presented the manifesto, presented our plan, presented our commitment. So we were received. That's why I was saying the evidence was there, even when what would not normally call the constituencies of the EFF, they raised their hand. They said, this time around we want to listen. The president went to Phoenix where people
KZN,
were killed in 2021 unrest, and he went to the community of Phoenix, the Indian community. They said, you are president, you are leader, let no one speak on our behalf. We're going to speak to you. DA doesn't represent us, we represent ourselves as people of Phoenix. He went to El Dorado Park, he went to other communities in Tshwane and everywhere else. So we were happy with the plan that we put in place, and we believe that our people will respond and reward us come the 29th of May. But look, we've done our part. We've spoken on the 29th of May. South Africans must come out in their numbers and speak. It's their time to speak on the 29th of May. They've heard us. We presented our manifesto, we presented our action plan. It's an opportunity to speak on the 29th of May, because we need this country to get back to get things back to normal. We need this country to start being a country that it's of better future, where people they can look forward to, South Africans look forward to live in this country, knowing that there's a secured place for everyone, secured future for our children. There are jobs, there's land, there's houses, and we can live in harmony and be a beautiful South Africa that all of us would dream to have. Because under this current outgoing regime, things have not been nice.
For the past 30 years,
been exploited, been excluded, have been killed for standing up for their own rights and what they believe must be of service. We need service delivery in this country. So 29 May is offering the entire population of South Africa that opportunity, and we are calling on all of them. Let's use it.
And through the community meetings, SG, and other programs of the organizations, what are we hoping to achieve? We understand now the CIS is busy with the community meeting, and all the top 6 officials are on the ground now agitating and mobilizing the communities. What are we hoping to achieve through this?
Look, we're an organization that is community grounded. We are a protest movement. We're an organization that we don't exist somewhere in nice offices, we exist within our community. But also we're an organization that understands that you can't lead people that you don't know. But also you can't use this arrogant approach of telling people what are their issues. These engagements with communities is to listen to communities, listen to them. We engage, we don't just go there and then we just tell people of Sesheko or Mankwe what is their issue. We listen to them to say, here are our issues, here EFF, issues of unemployment, issues of crime, issues of landlessness, we don't have houses, we remain visitors in our country of birth. So that is the important part of our campaign. That's why also not just community meetings. Our campaign was based on Umuntu Mtwi. Meaning that we wanted to speak to the individuals, because sometimes you might make a mistake to go to a community hall or a meeting and where people, some of them are shy because the living conditions that were subjected to, the people have been subjected to poverty, to unemployment, and some have surrendered to drugs and alcohol. Maybe they might be shy in a bigger community to raise those issues. That's why we adopted the one-on-one Umuntu Mtwi strategy, so that me and you, we can sit and then I can listen to you, because we got to service people not as a group but as individuals before we can think of them as a community. That's why we went on Umuntu Mtwi to listen to each and everyone, so that before we call them a community and we call them a society, we've heard these people speaking as individuals.
On election day, elections are fast approaching, SG. What is the expectations or the expectation from the organization, and what is it that the people of South Africa are expected to do? What is your call to the people of South Africa, and can you just describe what from the EFF position you envision to be happening on the day of elections?
Look, 26, 27, 28. So 27, 28, 29 are elections. 27, 28 special votes, 29 it's a DD. All we're saying is that people of South Africa, it doesn't matter how angry you are, it doesn't matter how disappointed you are, it doesn't matter how discouraged you are. We understand, and we've got every right, because nothing has worked. For the last 30 years, it's been empty promises, been lies, been betrayals. But this is an opportunity. You can never surrender. It doesn't matter how things difficult are, but never surrender on yourself. Never surrender to the future of your children. Never surrender on this country on its own. So on the 29th of May, we're calling on South Africans that this is your opportunity to speak. Politicians have been speaking, the so-called leaders have been speaking. You must go and speak. It's a time we're going to sit back and listen to South Africans, and we are saying all of them, they must come out in their numbers, because if they don't do it and they think the following day they're going to go to a service delivery protest, that has not worked. Actually, these ones who are running this country, they are happy because they know that they resolve those matters through violence by sending police. But we are saying, here's an opportunity on the 29th of May. Let's not lose it. Doesn't matter we're going to vote for, but go and make a mark, go and speak. It's a hard-earned and hard-fought democracy that we live in. Let's not waste it, and it doesn't belong to any family. As we are going out to vote on that day, forget about other families. No one must tell you about any past, about any issues, and try to blackmail you about the story of another family. Think of your own families now. It's enough, even if you're owing those families that they said they went to exile to fight for you. You've paid them 30 years. It can you can't be expected to pay with your in your lifetime. 30 years is enough. You've paid them. Now think of your families. This time it's about your families. It's about restoring the dignity of a black person in this country. So we're calling on all South Africa, young and old, young people. There's no time for complaining as well. Here's your say. Here's your opportunity to voice out your issues through going to the ballot, because that's a weapon we have now to change issues, and that our constitution allows that every 5 years there must be that opportunity. If you miss it now, you're going to see the national and provincial elections in 5 years, and we don't have any 5 years to waste. So we're calling on our people to come out in their numbers, young and old, employed or unemployed, all of us. What is good about this? It's not going to be asking about your CV or whether you're employed or not. Just come with your ID, go to a voting station where you are registered to vote, and go and make your mark. Go have your say. Have your say, so that whatever happens, you can give account as an individual that I tried, I had my say, I contributed, and majority of South Africans, they decided what they will decide on that day, which all of us will respect. But it's our opportunity. It doesn't come every day. Let's go and grab it with both hands, and let's go out there all in our numbers. We'll be very happy to see all the 27 million registered voters going out there to cast their votes. 2021, it was not a nice situation where we had less than 50% of people showing up to vote. It showed that they are losing interest on this country. We don't have any other country except South Africa. Let's all stand up and fight and building and defending this country and its future.
On the basis of voter apathy, as you have seen, the IEC opening an opportunity for those South Africans that are living abroad between the 17th and 18th of May for them to cast their votes, and they have participated in these elections. Your take on that?
Look, we appreciate what the IEC is doing to call on everyone, not only people abroad. Even here, there were 2 voter registration weekends, to say people, let them come out and vote, because if they don't, then they must know that they've handed over their lives to individuals that are not worthy of handling the matters about their lives. It's an opportunity to go and fix all those problems. They came out, we saw in the people that the newly registered voters during this term, 80% of them were young people, and we want that, but one more. There's still more young people that are not registered to vote, but let's hope this is the beginning of turning the tide, because the future belongs to the young. Let them be involved. Let them get there and determine their own destiny. So we're looking forward to the 29th. As the EFF were ready, all our party agents are ready. They're going to be available in all the voting stations. Voters, when they go there, please pass to the EFF table. They will be there. Our volunteers, party agents will be inside. Let's protect this democracy. Let's raise issues where we see any wrongdoing. Please, it must be raised with the authorities, so that on that day we want peaceful elections, we want a smooth operation, because after the 29th of May, South Africa must still stand.
And we are building up towards the more highly contested elections. Obviously, the EFF is gunning for 2/3 majority. Now, what is the recipe for us to garner as enough votes as possible? Obviously, you've highlighted the issue that we have done the door-to-door community meetings, but now are you hopeful that the EFF will be able to garner as much votes that will secure a 2/3 majority?
We've done our part. We've spoken to our people in all 23,000 voting stations. We've spoken to them. We've spoken to the millions of South Africans. That's what I'm saying. We've done our part, and we have sold our manifesto on what we seek to do when we take over this country. Our action plan, it's out there. We've engaged different media experts. They've taken us through our manifesto. We've had interviews. We, as I'm saying, we've done what we could do, and we appreciate all the ground forces that were involved in this work. They ran a dignified campaign, a respectful campaign. We never had any issues of fighters disrespecting anyone or any houses or doing things that are not of the EFF way of doing things. So we are ready. I think we are ready. South Africans also. We need to allow this phase to that. Let's go to elections so that the decision can be made, so that we can continue with our lives. Remember, when we get to this stage, it becomes a state of confusion, a state of where things they don't move. Service delivery is slowing down because everyone is anticipating what's going to happen. Let's release people of South Africa, 29th of May. It's our opportunity to speak, and then we'll take it from there. But we're confident of victory in the overall election, so that we can take the Commander-in-Chief straight to Union Building, because he must preside over the political affairs of this country.
Victory is certain indeed, SG. And let's look at the immediate things that the EFF would implement when it takes over government. What are those? The most immediate.
They are in our manifesto. The immediate things is to deal with issues of unemployment, issues of service delivery, issues of land. We have to deal with those issues. The issues of load shedding. They are immediate issues. They need to be resolved now. Those things can never be delayed. And as I'm saying, that the President is here tomorrow. He's going to speak broadly onto those issues. But what we've spoken about, the issues of land, the issues of jobs, the issues of stopping load shedding, the issues of service delivery, the issues of crime, they need to be resolved as a matter of agency once we take over government. So we'll have no time for anything except to hit the ground running. And we've done it when we had MMCs, different municipalities, and they've done that successfully.
And when on Saturday we see this stadium packed to the rafters, we should know that it was filled by the people of Limpopo, because other fighters are busy in other provinces.
Fighters, all of them, they must remain in their provinces. We've got elections on Monday, so we don't want them to be traveling for 2 days and then we lose elections after so much work. It's only the Limpopo province that is here, and the nation leadership. That's all. But we are calling on everyone here in Limpopo. Let's meet here on the 25th of May. The President and Commander-in-Chief is ready to take us to the final destination of our election campaign, so that victory is delivered.
And then on the day of the Tshela Thupa Rally, what can we expect?
The President and the Commander-in-Chief is a main speaker.
Yeah,
that's what we are here for.
Yeah.
To get the final message, the final marching orders for the next 4 days on what needs to happen, which corners to plug, and how do we prepare. He's the main man. He's commanding the forces, so he'll be here. He's the one who's going to give us some command letter, and we're ready to listen, and then we'll go and implement, because he speaks on behalf of the Central Command team and on behalf of over 1 million members of the EFF and our voters and supporters. So he'll be here leading from the front as always, and give them some combat. Once that is done, for us to go to the ground and implement, and the fighters are ready to say, President, give us the last marching orders. We are 4 days to victory now, and then that's what's going to happen in Saturday.
And as a parting shot, SG, what will be different from an EFF government? We know the ANC has failed to address the issues of employment, the issues of land in South Africa. What will be different from an EFF government when we take over?
Look, there's going to be decisive leadership. There's going to be fearless leadership. There's going to be competent leadership, because that's where it starts. We've got a lot of incompetence. That's what has led to the destruction of state institutions, the failure to deliver services. It lacks because we've got leadership that lacks the will to do the work. They don't have competence. So that's going to be the difference with the EFF leadership, and you've seen it over the years that they are decisive, they are fearless. Once a decision has been taken, it gets implemented with maximum precision. So you're going to see a new type of leadership style, an approach of doing things where we get things done today, and they must be done right in a correct manner, by the right people with the right qualifications, right experiences. So you're going to see South Africa is going to move. Things are going to happen quick. Not this thing of taking 6 months to get a decision to change a globe here in Polokwane. Street lights they can switch off for 6 months, and people they sit in council and eating buffets every day. They can't take a decision. So we're going to find leadership that's going to take decisions, and we're going to stand by those decisions, because we're not scared like that, because we know that through taking those decisions we can be able to service our people. Our people, they can't wait for anymore, and it will be unfair to ask them to wait anymore. So we need leadership that's going to hit the ground running, and that leadership will find it in the EFF ranks.
So the likelihood is that when we come back to Limpopo after the elections, the province will be led by the EFF.
No, definitely. That's why we're here. The ANC, it's the end of it, and you will see as you enter that you've got a different style of leaders. Things they're going to happen. You're going to see that actually black people, they can preside over their own affairs without white supervision, and they get things right. And that's what EFF is going to be doing, to demonstrate that black is beautiful. We can do these things on our own. We don't need any white supervisors. We don't need to be puppets of any white regime or white bosses or white owners of the economy. We'll take the economy back to the hands of our people, and we'll preside over this economy and make sure that it's an economy that will grow, it's an economy that will compete with other economies in the world.
Now, lastly, SG, there are analysis or reports like from the Ipsos that suggest that the EFF may get just above 11%. Do we rely on that, or we rely on data that we get from door-to-door programs?
Look, we rely on ourselves. We rely on the work of the EFF. We listen to Ipsos. We're not naive of those research companies and everything, but we more rely on our people on the ground, on the voters that we engage ourselves. So that's the only focus. We're not focusing on any Ipsos or any other research. You've seen there are too many. Everyone, anyone can wake up today in South Africa and say I'm a research institute. Even others that claim to be coming from the research institute, today they run a political party. So it's not something that we bother ourselves about. We've got our ground forces on the ground. They know what to do. They've done it, and we're confident that victory is going to be delivered after the 29th of May.
And fighters will fight me, SG, if I don't play them a song. Can you just dedicate one song to the fighters, if you have any?
No, the song is Vumagamnandi. That's a victory song.
The victory song.
It has not changed. You can see. Our fighter Vumagamnandi. So we're going for it. It's a victory song, even after the 29th of May. So it's a Vumagamnandi taking steps towards the union building to go and make sure that the commander-in-chief takes over the affairs of this country, so that he can make sure that he ushers economic freedom in our life.
Thank you very much, SG, for making time for us. Indeed, it's one way to victory, victory is certain. And thank you very much, the people of South Africa, Africa, and the world for tuning in. This is the EFF podcast. We're coming to you from Peter Mokaba Stadium in Polokwane, where the EFF is hosting the final rally ahead of the elections, the Tshela Thupa Rally. It's all systems go, and we'll be here on Saturday, and we're gravitating towards the elections on the 29th of May. Please make no mistake, please vote for the EFF. Hashtag Vuka Vela Voda. My name is Titus Tsungu. Until we meet again, Kuja Ikwenyet.
Julius Malemu Petu Mshini Vumagamnani Julius Malemu Petu Tanu Vumagamnani Julius Malemu Petu
Corrupt activities,
power cuts,
money laundering, 51 million rand tender.
Cyril Ramaphosa may have violated the constitution.
How long are we going to complain about the same things?
Joblessness figures hit a record high.
The recent data on unemployment is disappointing.
Too long have we tolerated corruption in jobs and jobs for favors. Vuka, vela, voda. How long are we going to live like this? Existing without the land? Vuka, vela, voda. Why have we normalized complaining about the dark? In the dark. Vuka, vela, voda.
The affected students remain in the hallways and on the grounds of the East.
They promised us free education in 1994. 30 years later, all they've delivered is a corrupt NSFAS and a broken education system. On May 29th, Election Day, vote EFF. Choose jobs, choose land, fight against load shedding. Vuka, vela, voda.
You must be counted. You must be part of history. You must make sure that you are one of the people who are going to deliver economic freedom in our lifetime.
Vote EFF.